Hey guys, so I want to talk to you about something that I think is happening with Pharaby's button usage. Keep in mind, this is something that I am putting together based on my experience with observing her and interacting with her. So there is no data backing this up other than just me putting together what I think is happening. But I think it's really interesting and I think it's worth mentioning, so I wanted to share with you guys. What I feel like has been happening is Pharaby is using certain toys to reference other things, but she's using the toys to reference color. Now keep in mind, Pharaby doesn't know color names, so even if I gave her word buttons with color names on it, we've not talked about color names ever in her whole entire life. She has no concept of what teal, purple, red, any of that. That's new words to her. So that's the first thing. The other thing is dogs don't see colors the same way that humans see colors. So what I see as red is most likely gray to Pharaby. So that's another thing to keep in mind. She's using toy names to reference different puzzles that she wants. I'll put some pictures in for you guys. For example, she uses Dingbert, which is our little teal dragon. She uses Dingbert to ask for Dingbert puzzle, which is her teal puzzle. Dingbert listen to music. If you guys can see, our Bluetooth speaker is teal, and also Dingbert food, which right there is Pharaby's collapsible bowl, which we don't usually use for food, but sometimes we'll take it on the porch for like fun. And so I've put together Dingbert and then another item or another thing that kind of in my mind doesn't go together is apparently her saying, I want the teal whatever thing.
You want to puzzle Dingbert? Okay.
That's the first one that I put it together on. But whenever I kind of had that like light bulb moment and I realized that's what I felt like she was doing, I went back and looked through our button entries. And so she's done this with Scooby Puzzle for months, since like last year. So I realized that Scooby and the red puzzle are probably similar color to Pharaby. So I looked up what dogs can see like color wise. So I'll put that on the screen for you as well. If you think about it from a black and white perspective, that brown that Scooby-Doo is probably very similar to the red that Pharaby's puzzle is, like with dog vision. Like I said, this is not backed by anything except for me putting together things that she's asking for. So for a long time, I thought Scooby puzzle meant she wanted to have the puzzle next to Scooby. She's also asked for Scooby, let's do tricks. I don't know what that means, but I'm thinking it's gonna be something that is Scooby color. So I don't know. So I'll be looking out for that. But then she did this the other day with Dinah puzzle as well. So Dinah is a gray stuffed kitty cat toy, and she has a puzzle that's like purple, and then it has some lighter purple in it as well, which once again, if you're looking at what dogs can see, that would be around the same color as Dinah.
Dinah puzzle? You want your puzzle with Mama? Okay.
Whenever I put together like, hey, I think she's asking for, you know, puzzles and referencing the toys as a color, I started showing her the puzzles. Like whenever she said Dinah puzzle, I showed her the purple puzzle and she got really excited. So obviously this could totally be a fluke and she might just be excited because it's a puzzle. Or it really could be something that she's doing. I have tested my theory with Dingbert puzzle and I've shown her two puzzles and she goes to the teal puzzle. So that's kind of like the best that I can do, I guess, to try to test this theory out. I've thought about, like I said, trying to teach her color names and adding color names, but I think that would get confusing because she can't see all the colors that I can see. And so I don't know that that would make sense to do. What I'm doing is basically whenever she asks for something, if she says one thing and then another thing and it doesn't make sense to me, I'm trying to now think like, what could she be using the first thing for? Like, could she be referencing maybe color, size, something like that, location? And then I'm trying to put it together and figure out what it could be. Because you know, she doesn't have a lot of words. I think she has 66 words. So that's a lot, or it sounds like a lot, but if you think about it, in the little bit of time I've been talking, I've probably said several hundred different words in 5 minutes, right? Her button board, it doesn't have really every single word that she can possibly use. And, you know, because she is not coming up with these words from her own vocabulary, she's having to use things that I think that she could need. So it really is limiting in a way, because yeah, she has 66 human words that I can understand, but I'm positive Pharaby can understand way more than that. So, you know, I feel like she is limited a little bit, and I don't really know what places to fill in and what to add for her that's not already there that would help her to make sense. But I just wanted to throw that out there because I felt like it was really, really cool that she's using things to reference a color and then another item to really get specific with her request. So I think that's neat. And then I did mention it to another person with a button learner, and they kind of had a light bulb moment too, and they're like, oh my God, I think that's what, I think they said bear puzzle means. And, you know, so they were gonna test their theory as well. And I feel like there are probably a lot of other dogs and cats and other species of learners as well who would do this and maybe reference something and we don't know what they're asking for, but there's two things that kind of don't go together, but in their mind it does. So I just wanted to mention it to you guys. So if you have a learner and, you know, they're saying stuff that could potentially be like a color of something and another item, look at that and see if that helps them. And I don't really know how we would prove that this is what's happening. So that's why I said it's pretty loosely based theory that I'm just kind of lashing onto right now with her. I just felt like it was worth mentioning though, because I think that there's probably a lot of times that stuff like this is happening and I'm not aware of what's going on. Just wanted to throw it out there. Also, because I didn't know this was happening for like, seriously, I bet the first time she said Scooby Puzzle was probably a year ago, maybe, possibly. And she's been asking for certain things in this way for about a year and I didn't understand. That would really explain why sometimes she gets frustrated as well, because I noticed that sometimes if she says something that doesn't make sense to me and I'm like confused and trying to figure it out, you can tell she gets frustrated. Sometimes she will actually point blank press frustrated and tell me she's frustrated. The other thing, sometimes she'll just bark at me and be like, you know, basically, why don't you understand what I'm saying? I'm using the words you gave me, idiot. And I know that she probably doesn't mean it like that, but I'm positive it's causing frustration for her to not be able to articulate every single thing that she wants to say. We're at like the start of learning how much dogs and cats and other beings can actually understand and can articulate in another language, because if you think about it too, they're learning this language for us. This is not how they communicate. So I'm sure if Pharaby had another dog to talk to, she could very easily tell them, yeah, I want that purple puzzle over there, like in her own doggy way. Like, you know what I mean? She has her own vocabulary just that she's born with as a dog that makes sense. And she's smart enough to learn to use English or just human language in general. That's the first thing. But then also to be able to articulate things whenever there isn't a way to articulate it is just amazing. So I wanted to share that. I'm really proud of her, as you guys know. Also, if you do not have buttons and you're interested in getting buttons for your dog, use our link below. It is an affiliate link and we really appreciate your support. Also, you can use code Pharaby at checkout right now and get free edge pieces with the purchase of a kit. Pharaby is a guide for Fluent Pet. We have a lot of videos on our channel that might help you to make decisions if you are trying to maybe navigate this for the first time. If you're trying to decide between learning resources and Fluent Pet buttons, I have a video on that. I will link that playlist for you guys at the end. And thank you guys for being here. We'll see you soon. Bye guys.